Welcome to the Functionised Podcast. This is your mad scientist, Jim. Hello, everybody. In this episode of the Chantea Goetz Podcast, as she has been in beautiful Monterey, California, pursuing her PhD in applied psychophysiology. It's still her podcast, so she gets mad credit for it. But nonetheless, it is the Functionised Podcast, once biohack humans. Myself and Dr. Mike sit down with Kate Ortiz and Rob Crowther of the band Vextion. Vextion, if you don't already know, and you should know, is an up-and-coming rock band from good old central New Jersey. Under leadership of the founder, Kate Ortiz, the group is known for its high-energy performances stemming from the passionate writing style of Kate and the vocal style of its frontwoman. Can't say enough good things about Kate. It was a phenomenal time that we had. Check out the photos that we have up on our show notes. Hear all about Kate's endeavor into the world of Spartan, her fitness, and where Vextion is going, most likely to a Wembley Stadium near you. Let's get to the show. It's Functionized Podcast time. Your mad scientist, Jim. I'm joined by Dr. Michael.
Well, thank you, Jim. We have an accent today, do we?
If that's an accent, sure.
Wait, what else would it be? Anyway, we have it for a special reason, of course. We have special guests on the show today.
I was going to say you're embarrassing me in front of the guests already.
What? It was that hard, huh?
So we've got Kate Ortiz of Vextion.
Correct.
And Rob Crothers.
Yeah,
from
that works.
From Kate.
Yeah, pretty much. You're not wrong.
They've got some rings on, and we're going to say that they're married.
Okay.
Although Kate just threw her ring off, so I'm not quite sure where this is going.
Just for pretend. Married for 4 years as of Thursday, so
congratulations.
So far, so good.
Thank
Yes.
you. He's
Very
very
nice.
lucky.
I'm very lucky.
You are very lucky. And
That's
nobody's got the itching stuff going on? You haven't hit that 7 years yet, so.
No, we're good. So far, so good. And we got a nice little vacation coming up. Long overdue, so.
Oh, God, yeah. I've been working really hard this year.
Yeah, you're a little busy, I know. First of all, we said Vextion, but I don't think we said anything about Vextion. So you guys are musicians, so you guys are a little busy between that. I also know you teach. You're constantly in the gym. And you're also training for some fun events, which we'll get into shortly.
Yes.
So a little bit busy, I guess.
Yeah, I like
So,
to keep busy.
Let's go ahead and start off with talking about yourself, because all they know is musicians, Vextion, Kate and Rob. Tell us a little bit about yourselves.
I mean, you covered a lot of it. My life is very, very full of music. I work in music. My hobbies are music. When I'm not doing music, I'm listening to music. So besides going, like, the gym kind of is like a thing that I started because I was like, I need to do something that's not creative or I'm going to like go insane. I need something completely where I could turn my brain off. So that's kind of my whole life is just music and fitness stuff.
That's a nice life.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean,
following your passion and having a good time with it.
It's not terrible. I don't hate it.
So how did you get into music in the first place?
I feel like it was just like in my blood. I've been playing music in one way or another since I was a little kid. When I was like 5 or 6, I would literally just make up songs, just like in a little kid way. Just like playing with my ducks, singing about my ducks. And then,
that was the first hit.
That it was duck song. And then we, anytime we did music in school, like we did like the recorder, like I was super into it. And then I joined the school band and I played the saxophone. And I was in grammar school. I was in the gifted and talented music and art program. And, you know, it'd just be singing and rhythms, and we would do, like, those handbell things. And then in middle school, I got my first guitar, and then I was like, forget this saxophone, this sucks.
Tell us how you really feel.
And now I don't think the saxophone sucks. I think it's cool. But I was so excited. I got a guitar, and now I can write my own songs and sing. You know, when you play a brass instrument, you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I guess it'd be difficult trying to sing while
Also playing the
blowing
saxophone.
instrument.
Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. So I just always loved writing songs. Like, even before I played the guitar, I'd write lyrics and have melodies in my head. And I had one of those, like, really cheesy, like, hand recorders that you would bring into, like, a business meeting, you know? And I would just record myself singing my songs. And then I was really amused by the speed up button that could make you sound like a
Yes.
They're fun.
Is that where the Duck songs got inspired? Because it changed the voice?
You know what? I wish I had a recording of the Duck song. I think my mom might, though, on, like, an old cassette tape or something.
You
So
can bring that up. You can post that on
That would be
social
great.
media.
That would be a lot of
I don't
fun.
know if it
Please
still
send
exists,
to
but
do.
she definitely video recorded me, you know, singing the Duck song. And then in end of middle school, I kind of started my first band, and we were terrible. And then come high school, I started my first band that wasn't terrible, so that was really cool. And then I would say my first band in high school that wasn't terrible was metal, and I guess we were kind of terrible. And then after that, you know, I just, band after band after band, I played a lot of talent shows in high school, it was like my first time performing in front of people, and I was a really shy and quiet kid. Like, talking in front of people made me really nervous, but something about playing in front of people was different. Like, I just, like, fell in love with it immediately. I think it's, like, the rush of adrenaline, and you get to share, like, this creative thing you did with everyone, and you have the microphone, so they have to listen to you. It's great.
Now, do you find that when you perform in front of others that you get super nervous beforehand still, or is it kind of just like breathing at this point?
You know what? I don't really get nervous.
You get bouncy.
I do. I get excited.
Bouncy.
Yeah, I jump around and I get really pumped, and it's just like this rush of adrenaline that you get, but it's not really nervousness. Not anymore. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been playing in front of people.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd even played baseball forever.
Yeah.
I would still get nervous. I'd get butterflies and bouncy, as you'd say.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious if after you were doing it, if you still got those little butterflies.
Not usually. I will say that now that I'm kind of doing my own solo thing, so I've been trying to, it's really dumb actually, I've been trying to go to open mics, and that's the most nervous I've been in 15 years is singing at a dumb open mic
She
where
does
everyone,
a really good job.
where everyone's saying,
They
you
don't
know,
seem
I
nervous.
just, like, it takes me, like, I would say half a song to, like, get in my groove. Whereas, like, playing with the band, like, I have my team, you know, and I have, like, my routine that we have, you know, we have to set up all the equipment. It's just, like, it just feels very comfortable. So when I play with my band, I'm ready to go. I'm good. It's no problem at all. But something about this slight change where I'm by myself, it's me and an acoustic guitar, and you know,
all you.
it's a little, and yeah, it's all me. So, and the pressure doesn't really bother me. It's not even the pressure. I think it's just a little bit more intimate, which kind of gets me. Like, if a crowd of 1,000 people's in front of me, I'm good. Like, I'm ready. Let's
Most
do
of them are
this.
going to like you anyway. Who cares about the one or two?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
You got 10 people.
But yeah, you know what? The smaller the crowd gets, the more nervous I get. If I just had to play a song in front of 2 people for some audition for something, and I was like, this is weird.
Can see both look in the eyes of everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like when you're in front of a lot of people, like you change your eye contact, you know, like you're having a conversation. But when it's just like one person in front of you, it's like I can't just stare at you the whole time because that's awkward and weird.
She very much feeds off the crowd as well. Like, something I noticed about a lot of performers, like, there's a big crowd, she's into it, like it's up to 11, you know, as they say.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that. You know, going in front of a big crowd, even giving talks, not a big deal. You run it past a significant other, just that one person, you're on the spot, you're all nervous, like,
Oh, yeah.
I should be the most comfortable in front of them.
Exactly.
The
It's
only person not judging you, but then all of a sudden it's deer in the headlights.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's only one opinion now.
So, how some musicians are comfortable in keeping it quiet and keeping it local. Others, they just want to blow up the world stage. What are your aspirations?
I want
Where
to blow
you-
up the world
Yeah,
stage.
There you go.
Hell yeah, that's what we're talking
yeah.
about.
That's why you're here.
No, go big. That's all I want. You know, I'm constantly making music. Our bass player just had a kid, and you know he's getting married soon, so we have kind of like a little bit of a hiatus with our band. You know, because all that stuff, it takes up all your time. So,
Maximus.
hey Max. So like, you know, once he like gets married and gets settled and all that stuff, you know, we'll get back into the swing of things. But I can't just sit and wait.
Right.
So I was like, okay, well, this is going to be a few months that I'm going to have where I can work on all these songs that didn't fit in our band.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm doing my solo album. And then kind of from that, I started doing this Christmas album with some musicians that I play with. So I have that going on too. We just finished that. And then after that, I'm writing an EP with this guy in Ohio that I met online. Hopefully he won't murder me. But
I thought it. You said
it. Fingers crossed. He seems like a nice guy.
We'll keep tabs on that one.
Yeah.
They all do.
But we're. I never give my exact location. Somewhere in New Jersey. But we're doing like a dark pop synth album.
Okay.
And then also I just wrote a song over the weekend that's like electronica kind of pop. So I'm like, maybe I'll just do that too. I just like can't stop myself.
So you have no real style. You do whatever the heck you want, basically.
You know what? Just
Right
this
now,
past year,
yeah.
I mean, I've always played hard rock, punk rock, and that was kind of like where I lived. And now I've just really branched out, and whatever avenue I can use to kind of like make this thing big, I'm gonna go for it because I just love writing music for anything.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
Did we use the word hiatus? Did that word come up when talking about Vextion?
I think so.
I think we didn't officially set any sort of hiatus. I just think everyone's doing their own thing and going their own direction. Like we're still always playing like the Seaside Festival and stuff like that. Kate's very much involved with her solo stuff, which is super exciting for her, and she's not just playing but listening to all types of new music, so that's cool to see. Max is like Dad of the Year right now. You know, we met his kid, and he's just like, what was like a week in, he's just like already like he's been doing it his whole life. He's fitting right into that. And then I'm pursuing journalism stuff, which is like a whole new world that I'm falling in love with, and podcasting, as you guys know.
Oh, we'll get into that.
It's just like the timing is. I think it's just perfect. It's just like meant to be. It's like it's not like we're stopping anything. It's just like everyone's doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And I think it's perfect for
This
everybody.
is especially good for you now. Now it's. How about you?
Which is all I've ever wanted.
She don't want to deal with us anymore.
Yeah, get out of my spotlight.
Yeah.
Do you write all your own music?
I do, yeah.
Nice.
Songwriting's probably like my number one passion, tied for first place with performing, I would say. And something else I want to do, and another reason I'm trying to write so many different styles of music, is because I'd love to write for major artists, you know, in any style, you know. So I'm kind of practicing that. One of my songs on my new CD I'm putting out, when I wrote it, like probably, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago, when I was writing it, I was like, what would it be like if I wrote a song for Kelly Clarkson? And then I wrote a song and I was like, I like this song, and now it's going to be on my solo album.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So a big thing a lot of people talk about is, they never have time for anything. And all you're saying is that you're doing this constantly. But again, you work out like a machine. I've seen you in the gym.
Yeah.
But how about we'll let you brag a little bit of, one, how do you find the time and like how do you make it a priority? And two, do you ever feel like you have to force yourself to go there, or is it really just your mental break to kind of help motivate you to do all the other 1,000 things you have to do in a day? On a light day.
Yes, on a light day. So, as far as forcing myself to go there, some days I have to.
I think it's important for people to know. 'Cause some people it's so easy for you to get to the gym, and it's just like you have no idea. You got to smile, just go up and show up.
It's not easy because sometimes I'm exhausted. Some days, I'm doing a lot between. I have a real job, I have all of my music things going on, and I take the gym stuff really, really seriously. So. Some days I'm just like, I'm so tired, I don't want to go. But if I don't go now, I'm going to have to go tomorrow and do what I was going to do today, so I might as well get it over with. And I find if I force myself in the door and just, like, no expectations, all I have to do is get dressed. And if I get dressed, suddenly I'm not Kate. I'm a warrior, and I'm ready to lift some heavy shit. I just have to have, like, the right outfit, and I'm good to go.
You sound like a Spartan already.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And as far as finding the time, I started really getting into fitness 2 years ago, I guess. 3 years ago. And when I first started, it was hard, and I didn't want to go, ever. But I was like, okay, this is something I want. I want to be in better shape. I want to feel good. And so I would just not think about it. It would be like going to work. You don't have a choice. You have to go to work, even if you're tired, even if you don't want to go to work. So that was kind of like my thing. I would be like, okay, I don't have a choice. Don't think about it. Just go. And then once I started going, then I started to feel good. Mm-hmm. And it took like a year and a half, but it became a habit. And then after that, it was kind of just like part of my life. So it wasn't like I had to fight with myself as much,
Well, like your music, you said has evolved a lot, from singing about rubber ducks or everything into all the different styles. How about your exercise? Did you just jump in and I know that you do a lot of kickboxing. I see you do CrossFit style workouts. Did you just jump in and start off that way, or how did you begin or work your way up?
So from there, our friend Jeff actually used to be a personal trainer, and he's on my team for the Spartan race that we're doing, and so yeah, Jeff Masala, yeah. So I was like, hey Jeff, I'm getting into fitness, please help me. And he just he sent me a list. He's like, do all of these things. And so 3 times a week I would just do exactly what Jeff sent me, and it kicked my ass. And then I dropped like 13 pounds in 6 months or something like that, and I was like, it's working.
It's amazing. Diet and exercise works. Did you run across this gym? This is news to me.
This is brand new cutting edge research, I think.
We should probably do a podcast on fitness sometime.
You do that and you know how it goes, right?
So you could see the look he just gave me for that.
So yeah, it started from there, and then I was doing kickboxing because that's something I really, really wanted to do, and the gym I joined had kickboxing, and that's why I met Joe, and I really, really liked his class, so I was like, okay, I can commit to this now because I'm enjoying it. And then from there, I wanted to start putting on muscle because I was like, okay, I lost a lot of weight, I'm feeling pretty good. So then that's when I started doing a little bit more of muscle group things and stuff like that. And then, Joe would be like, hey, you should do this too. And I'd be like, okay, sure. And then I think you guys, then I met you, and the both of you were like, oh, you should do this thing that's really, really hard. And I'm just like, okay.
This thing that's hard. I like your outlook. Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Why not? What else am I doing?
Here's a 176-pound tire. What am I supposed to do with it? Flip it. Can I do that? We'll find out.
Go flip it. All right, I'm going to flip the tire now. And I love flipping the tire. It's really fun.
Do you have any types of workouts that you enjoy more than others? Style of training? I mean, you talked about CrossFit style stuff. Spartan in and of itself is just ungodly amounts of mountain running with fun obstacles in the middle to take a break.
Fun, right?
I would say my least favorite is cardio, unless it's kickboxing, in which case I'm on board.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a favorite. I like the variety because my attention span isn't always great.
We should introduce you to Carol when we're done here. Have you heard about Carol?
No.
The world's first artificial intelligence exercise bike. You'll be done in 8 minutes. All your cardio.
That's it?
The equivalent of a 45-minute jog is done in 2 20-second sprints.
Oh,
Like, seriously.
Carol will take care of you.
Yeah.
She'll adjust and everything for you to make sure that you get the maximum.
We now have post-podcast plans done.
awesome. Perfect.
That's
So you're going to get a workout in. You're
Some people
dressed
go
well
out
enough
to eat
for
and
it.
drink, but, with Carol.
I think my gym bag's in my car, worst case scenario.
We've been on Carol like this.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I've done it in
nice.
a jacket and tie, and a lot of individuals, business executives come in, loosen their tie, hit it up, and then go back to the day at work. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And even in utilizing it with individuals looking to lose a lot of body fat, it's so much more effective than the long slow cardio pounding forever and ever and ever.
That's cool.
It's
Yeah,
some fun.
that's like my new thing. So I had lost a bunch of weight, and then I put on a bunch of muscle, and now in the past year I've gained 10 pounds, but my pants still fit. So that's
plus.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
It's a different 10 pounds.
It's
right?
a different 10 pounds than it was before. It's a less jiggly 10 pounds, so that's cool.
I'm just getting over my pants still fit. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
What is your nutrition typically like? I mean, if you're grinding, working, and writing, and performing, and
teaching, which we haven't even touched that too
and
much.
putting up with Rob.
That's a full-time job in it. So.
It's got a lot of individuals find difficult time. They don't have time to prep. I totally get that. That's no fun. What do I eat? Let me just eat whatever, or I don't eat at all. So what do you typically do? Because you look like whatever you're doing is working.
So I'm a vegetarian,
Okay.
so that's been a really fun and interesting challenge for putting on muscle, but I know it's very doable. Every day I have at least one plant-based protein shake that I drink because I'm not a vegan, but I find whey protein gives me pimples, which is really fun for me as a grown
sensitivity
woman.
to it, yeah.
Yeah, I do have a sensitivity. So that takes a big chunk of my protein, but every morning I'll have 2 eggs. And I like to throw vegetables. I eat a ton of edamame, a ton of beans.
Love edamame.
Yeah, it's
Throw some
delicious.
salt on it and
You
heat
can
'em
do
up and
different
just pop 'em
flavors,
through.
different
Yeah.
sauces. It's good to go. Ton of beans, ton of nuts. I eat a lot of peanuts, cashews, pistachios are my jam. he loves when I eat them because he loves when I hearing the sound of me cracking
just
them.
want to crack, garbage.
That's
And
just
because
weird.
we're on the shell, I totally get. What was it? Were you there last week and watched him eat the entire bag from Costco?
Yes, you went through that bag pretty damn quick.
No, just one more handful.
Your
You know
daughter
what?
was sitting
Just
there.
one more. All right, one more handful. Yeah, they're good. I like
because
them
they're
actually.
delicious.
They are.
It is hard sometimes. Sometimes I'm at work all day, and like I'll have these big gaps in my day because I'm teaching music classes in the morning, and then I'm doing private lessons. So I'll have sometimes a 4-hour break, and that's usually when I'll go to the gym.
Mhm.
So I have to make sure I get up early enough in the morning where I can make myself lunch, because I'm not gonna go home and I'm not gonna cook like 5 meals to bring with me, because first of all, the food starts to get disgusting
Right.
after like a few days. I don't know how people do that. I like my food to be as fresh as possible, so that annoys me. So I'll try to do that. Sometimes I fail. I do. Sometimes I'll get a sub from Wawa because I didn't have time to make myself enough food. And I eat a lot. Like, he'll be like, geez, you eat more than I do. Like, I'm just constantly eating.
Perhaps you do.
I'm just starved all the time. So, and because everything I eat, even if I'm full, like 5 minutes later I'm hungry again because it's a bunch of vegetables.
That's true. Plus, a lot of people don't take into consideration brain power being used. And if you're writing and teaching and putting up with people that aren't getting it, and everything that you're doing through the day, you're using so much fuel in your brain, adding on top of what you're also doing in the gym. So it makes a lot of sense. Absolutely does. That you need more.
Yeah, so like some days I'll try to pack myself 2 meals after, eating breakfast just to be at work, and then I'll eat it and I'll still be hungry, even with like snacks. And I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, and I try to like make sure I have like a banana with me because that's an easy snack, but it's hard. The nutrition part is probably the hardest part for me. Getting in the gym and lifting a bunch of weights and pushing a tire around is fine, but like planning my day of meals is a pain sometimes and really expensive. I eat a lot.
Snacking daily is definitely we've done that once or twice, right? How many jars of nut butters did we go through in a day?
Yeah. Well, I just had to order like another case of almond butter. I go through that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So other than just eating a crap ton, and the protein powders, do you take any other supplements, or do you really just eat constantly? You feel like that's where you get most everything that you need?
I get most of it probably from eating. Sometimes I'll do like 2 shakes in a day. I've experimented with BCAA powders because there was a time where I felt like I just wasn't healing fast enough, and that helped me a bit. And every once in a while I'll use creatine, I won't lie, because it makes me feel so powerful and it's awesome.
It's kind of funny. You just brought creatine like people talk about steroids. I take creatine. It works. Yeah, creatine, I mean, there's been decades it's been proven the safety of creatine and how it does help with both endurance and with strength. I mean, even now it's being used as a nootropic and enhancing cognitive function. So
Yeah, I heard
I
about
highly
that
recommend people of all ages taking creatine. Like
You don't have to hide it.
I don't,
Yes,
know
I don't
why-
hide it.
I don't
No
feel
shame.
shame about my creatine.
No, salad a day, creatine a day, you're good to go.
And another thing is that, so I have like freakishly small veins, which the doctors always tell me. So when I take creatine, I'm like, hello, blood flow. I feel great.
That sounds like a good thing. Absolutely a good thing.
Yeah.
So let's shift it, because I know this has all been about Kate. You like that a little bit.
Before we
But-
shift
not
gears,
yet.
I want to
I'm
hear
done.
more about
used.
Spartan. I'm
Of course.
I'm
Spartan.
interested in Spartan.
I apologize. We
Okay.
do the sport.
So, have you done Spartans before?
I've never, ever done a Spartan race. I've done like a 5K.
Why do you decide to go into a event that's being looked to turn into a Olympic event at this point? And they're all over ESPN now.
Oh, for
So,
real? Yeah, there.
So that's awesome.
No
So
one-
the reason
uh-oh.
is I act solely on impulse. That's basically how I run my life. And I was getting a car wash, and they were doing a news coverage of the Spartan race, and I went, that looks fun, and I texted my friends, we should do Spartan race. So that's the real reason. Other than that, and literally everything that I do in my life, it's some kind of weird impulse that I've had randomly, and then I'm like, cool, let's do this, like
That's how we got
kickboxing.
married.
Yeah. I was like, hey you, hey guy.
you're cute. You want to get married? Yeah, we can go out for drinks later.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll see if we like each
Not
other.
true. Not true.
Like even kickboxing, I was like, I want to do that, so I just went and did it. But another reason is because when I'm training in the gym, I need a goal. Literally 1 year, I was being Wonder Woman for Halloween, and I was like, this is what I'm training for.
Yeah.
And it kept me motivated. It's so
Yeah.
stupid, but I need like...
Training for Halloween. That's
No,
a
I
new
mean,
one.
that's so many individuals that come seek us for whether it be weight loss or some type of performance enhancement. They need a goal. There's no way I'm just going to maintain this weight forever. There's no way I'm going to lose 10 or 20 pounds without a real goal. I mean, you want to lose 20 pounds, great. But
when it gets
what's
hard,
going
it's
to keep
not
you
going
going?
to hold. Yeah.
You're going to go out. Your husband or wife, your significant other is going to be saying, hey, let's go have drinks. Let's go to this place, go to that place. I had a bad day. Take me to Chick-fil-A. You know who I'm talking about.
Oh, nice.
I know someone like that. Oh, let's eat cake in bed and watch TV.
That was great, when somebody's pregnant. And we got a case of Dunkin' Donuts every single night. I mean,
Yeah.
watch How I Met Your Mother. I enjoyed those 9 months.
Yes.
But, I mean, you're absolutely right. If you don't have a specific goal. For me, this summer had been the exact same as Spartan.
Yeah.
I did a trifecta, and training for each race was different, and I wanted to get better and improve my time, so that was the big thing. Now, there's a powerlifting competition in November. There you go. So, totally get it. If you're not training for some type of goal, it's so easy to say, I'll get to it later.
Yeah, do I have to? What's the point, honestly,
Exactly.
But, having this coming up, I'm like, this is going to be the hardest thing I've ever done physically.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to, get it together.
You practicing your spear throws at all?
I do have to practice my... I have been practicing my rope
climbs. If you miss the spear
climbs.
throw, it'll piss you off because it's, right there.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
that's
hit
what...
the target. I missed it. I got to do 30 burpees.
Yeah, I heard high and hard.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I heard.
I
How
actually...
many tries you get?
One.
You just get one try?
Yeah.
Hit it.
Why do you think
Just
I'm
hit
training so hard?
Oh my
If you mess
God.
anything up, 30 burpees. I don't want to do 30 burpees.
Actually, I would do hill sprints over at Homedale Park when you got the... You ever been to Homedale and see the bowl there?
I've been to hold.
Anybody who's run cross country is hearing this in Homedale Park in New Jersey knows the bowl. It is an ungodly race killer if you're not ready for it. There's a hill that will get you. It's straight up at us.
That's good to know.
Oh, wow.
So I would put on my weighted vest of 40 pounds and do sprints up it and then do burpees at the top. Go back down, go up the top. And I figured, let me make sure I can do 500 burpees. So I count them up and end up doing 500 burpees in the workout, just in case, God forbid, I missed, here's the fear, every single obstacle.
Uh-huh.
If I missed every obstacle, including jumping over that little fire at the end, I don't know how you messed that one up, but if I did,
Watch me, I'm gonna fall on the
if you
fire.
trip and your photo is
Home
you
stretch.
face down
on
fire,
Yeah.
30 burpees, I guess.
Yeah.
But, that's part of the training on that. So, yeah, don't miss the spear throw.
I do have to get back on my burpees. I've been a little lazy with my burpees.
I did take a broom handle, a heavier broom handle from a push broom, and set up a folding table and drew a bullseye on that and would stand up to 50 feet away to hit that. And every single night, I'd have to hit 10 in a row.
Well,
If you do 9 in a row and then you miss, start over again. That should become a fun family activity, I gotta say. Everyone's
Yeah,
starting to get into
fun.
it.
That sounds
yeah, get people
awesome.
involved. I think I know my weekend plans.
Yeah.
Looks like you're going to be learning how to throw a spear, Rob.
Probably. That actually sounds awesome.
It is kind of fun. I mean, axe throwing has become the big thing. My neighbors were saying, "Are you axe throwing?"
Yeah.
Does this look like a freaking axe? No, it's a spear. What's wrong with you?
They're new to it, too.
She's pretty good at archery, too, actually. We haven't done that in a while, but she was surprisingly very good at archery.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is aim.
Aim, fire.
Just aim it. You're good.
And Wonder Woman, like a superhero, sitting right in front of you.
Yeah, I try. But then again, I always feel like I'm really strong and mighty, but then I went to the doctor on Monday and had to get blood taken, and I turned into an infant baby, so.
We all do.
Yeah.
That's why some of
We
us
all
have
do,
gotten
Jen?
into. That's why some of us got into manual medicine as opposed to drawing blood or doing
Because
surgery.
it's disgusting.
It only took me 2 months to get through getting into the cadaver initially.
Oh, yeah, cadaver line.
I would stand so far away from that thing. It didn't want anything to do with it. It was dry heaving all over the place.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
But you got into it pretty well. So I remember the little
I got
spin
my
challenge.
I got my first grade
But-
and realized I have to get into this or I'm failing out.
Yeah.
So I got into it.
Good for you.
Well, you're
Brain matter in my hair, nose, a lot of rocking and washing, like the crying game happened. But
Oh,
you know
okay.
what? Got through it.
Blow your
Did it
nose
right.
the next day and just wonder what the hell that was.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
well,
oh,
you guys are braver
not
than
my
I.
bone, but
What
that's
body
bone.
part was this? That's an anatomy test. Okay.
Yeah, this
That was
is,
question number 6.
this is why I'm a musician, not a doctor. She's like, okay, I have to take your blood with this tiny needle. I was like, oh god.
So, the Spartan race is in
Yes.
November, you said?
November.
All right, you'll be ready, right?
Yeah.
then some.
I've been training for like a year. I better be ready.
Are you kind of to the point right now where you feel you're ready right now and kind of like, let's just get to it, or you still feel that you can
No, I
make
still
some
feel I
progress?
need to push myself further. Especially, I had a couple setbacks, like my shoulder kind of like I think I overdid it because I was working out 5 days a week. I was lifting 2 days a week, a cardio day, a kickboxing day, and then I was doing a rock climbing day every week. And then I remember I was rock climbing, and then just like everything hurt, and then my shoulder is wonky, and I couldn't like lift it. I still have a little trouble with push-ups. Like it's still kind of healing, so that's super annoying. Like that's the biggest drawback. It's not like my will to do things. It's just my body being like, slow down. And then being like, shut up, we're doing this.
Oh, that's awesome. I love this. Yeah, if it weren't for Dr. Mike over here, I would not have been able to complete the last one. That was it was only an 8 mile. And already completed the 5K and the 13 mile.
You got over the worst one, the 13
So the tough were all done, but I got to the point, I'm thinking I'm training this optimal training zone. Meanwhile, I can't get out of my car. I can barely get over here. Both Achilles are shot, and it would literally be, I'd go face down on the table, say, do your thing, I got to train today. And he'd get me through training for the day. And then you just lather, rinse, and repeat.
Yeah, my whole thing is that we're going on a 10-day vacation, so I was like, well, I'll take a break from working out, and then I'll heal, I hope.
You probably will.
Yeah, so that's my big
If
plan.
you can mentally take that break.
That's
I mean, I can already, I know the way you train, I can already tell by the way you're talking. Not like we've ever had problems with overtraining or taking breaks, right, Jim?
Mm-hmm.
How many injuries do we have in the room right now? So that is honestly the hardest part for me, is getting over the mental part of actually taking the break. So enjoy it, don't think about it, let your body heal, and then go back and kick ass afterwards.
I'm hoping being in a different state and being in vacation mode will really help me, because I tried to take a break and it's just so hard, because working out for me is very like, it helps me mentally.
Yeah.
You know, it releases.
Cathartic.
Yeah, it gives me like a break from everything that's going on. Like my brain's always going. I don't know if it's a creative person thing. That's what I think it is. But like I feel like sometimes I'll wake up and I've been thinking all night, and it's like a burnout. So exercise is a really good way for me to turn off.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, all the endorphins and stuff like that helps level out my moods. So like I tried to take a break, and I was so cranky and angry. And I went to work and I was talking to my boss, and he's like, "You good?" And I was like, "I haven't worked out in 4 days."
Rob, have fun on this vacation, man. 10 days of this? Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'll just like go outside and like throw some rocks or something.
Throw some rocks?
Rob.
Probably.
I'll give him a target. Sure, I have to practice.
I think we'll do a lot of bike riding.
Bike riding will be
There
great, I think.
So
Probably that's much safer for my health.
Yeah, totally.
the more you're talking about, and the more that your mind is going, it makes sense how much you want to eat. It really does. Oh yeah.
Does
I mean,
it?
if you
Okay.
feel that way, yeah.
I have a little trouble
you're
sitting
burning.
still.
I get that now.
Yeah.
So before I get onto some Bob culture,
Yes.
Hey.
what is the best and most favorite place that you've played so far?
Ooh. So, I mean,
That was the most she's had to think so far.
yeah, I could.
We
Cause
should probably give it food.
Yeah,
I'm starving now.
Not wrong.
So it's not really. There's no one venue where I'm like, oh, I love this venue. Like, there's a couple that the sound might be better. Like we play at the Brighton Bar a lot in Long Branch. You know, the guy who does sound there knows our stuff, and he knows our sound. We played at the Wonder Bar, and they just got this new sound system, and it sounded really great. But the thing that like makes it a great show, it has nothing to do with the venue. It's just all about the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like what was our best crowd? I know we've had this.
Barnegat Middle School's always been
Oh
really
gosh,
nice.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
yes, that would be the best show we've ever played. We played there like 3 times. It was a middle school, and so we have the entire middle school in the gym, and we're just in the middle of the gym, and we're this band they've never ever heard of, but we played like a few songs, and they were right there, and like we could have been like Justin Bieber, because there was literally like kids, they were like trying to reach out and like high-fiving us, and then like one girl looked like she was gonna cry, and then afterwards it was incredible, and afterwards they all wanted our autographs. You know, we had this huge line of kids, we're just signing stuff like crazy, and it was the best experience ever. We made $0, but it was awesome.
Which is not what it was about.
Yeah, no, it's not what it was about, because I'm a musician, and if I wanted money, I would have been an accountant.
So say, I mean, you've already talked about being on the world stage, and seems like you're well on the way. If you could have that Barnegat Middle School crowd,
Yes.
what venue would you want to play?
Good
Ooh.
question.
That was a good way of phrasing
My.
it.
Great question.
Like anywhere.
Anywhere. It could be small.
Anywhere.
It could be a stadium over in Europe. Anywhere.
Okay, if I'm picking anywhere, I'm picking an enormous stadium, full to the brim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what stadium. Wembley Stadium here, doesn't matter. The biggest crowd possible that's what I would want. You know, where you could really put on a good show. Because that's another thing is like these national bands, they have the opportunity to put these like really big productions on. I love the band Muse, and like I've never seen anyone put on a production like Muse. They're so good.
Great live.
Yeah, like everything they do, like every detail is really well thought out, and I would love to have a show like that, because now when you're on stage, you're not just a musician. You're an entertainer. You have to be entertaining for the entire, 2 hours that you're playing. Because anyone can get on stage, play a bunch of songs for 2 hours, but like the thought that goes into it, that's something I'd like to do.
All right, so you want to play with Muse at Wembley Stadium?
Yeah,
Love it.
Muse at Wembley Stadium, yeah.
Done.
I would not say no to that.
Well, we literally are putting it out there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hey Muse, I would love to play with you. Let's do this.
Fair enough.
I'm sure they'll hear it.
Bob Culture.
That's me, yes sir.
Talk to me, Bob.
Well, first and foremost, guys, thank you, Jim and Mike, for having us on. Super appreciate it. Also want to thank you guys for giving Kate a lot of motivation, a lot of guidance when it comes to the gym stuff. I know you guys touched on it a little bit. As you may or may not know, my wife is very competitive.
I forgot to mention that.
There's been a small, taste that you could pick up on.
So I think just giving her some sort of direction or guidance or anything, or lifting a tie or whatever it may be, is super important. And, you guys talk about her not going to the gym for a while, we're on vacation and stuff. Like, she'll definitely get that itch. It's a physical thing for her, but it's definitely a huge mental thing, as she touched on a little bit. So thank you guys for that. That's really, really cool, and it's very important. So I get in trouble less, and less rage and all that kind of stuff.
Less rage, yeah.
But thank you guys very much for that. Appreciate it.
I've always been told, and I'm starting to follow this now, after almost 15 years of being married. 19 years, same girl. And finally just getting it. That the way to have a successful marriage is for the guy to always, always, always have the last word.
Oh man, I feel like Kate will have an opinion on this one.
No, she'll love this one.
You know what? We literally have, and we don't fight a lot. I feel like we fight more like creatively than anything, like about band stuff and stuff like that, or we're just on different pages. But even when we fight, like, we're funny with each other at this point. We've been together long enough. I think you go, last word, or don't you do stuff like that? Like,
I've literally screamed last word and slammed the door.
Like, last word. So it's just like I think she has that theory where she needs to get the last word.
I totally get that, but as long as you follow up with yes, dear,
yeah,
you're good.
Last word's fine.
You will last decades and decades and decades. You'll live for all eternity together, happily and blissfully.
That's actually really good advice. I don't know if I call you dear a lot, though. I don't know if
I never call my wife dear. It's usually, hey, buddy.
Yeah,
dude.
What's up, dude? Yeah,
yeah, exactly. But yes, I am usually the one at fault. We'll leave it at that.
We have a saying in our household. Do you
Go
want to
ahead.
share it?
I would like you to share, because you say it better than I.
Happy wife, don't get knifed.
Wow.
Yes. All right.
Don't let Chantea hear that one.
Yeah. Leave.
I've got forked. But not
I like it. Nice. But so again, thank you for channeling my wife's rage and
in a healthy way.
In a healthy way, yes. So thank you for that. Yes.
Feisty Spanish girls. What is this with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
she's fun.
Bob Culture.
Yes.
You have this podcast. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so long story short, I've been playing with Vextion and Kate's band, 10 years now? Something like that?
God, has it really been that long?
Yeah, and I tried out for the band, the running joke being that she was going through drummers, so I married her, so I won't get kicked out of the band. So always been a drummer. Like, my drum kit is like my office. Like, I can do anything back there. I'm comfortable. Not really much of a public speaker, anything like that, and I've always wanted to do a website and things like that, and like top 25 retro games. I do a lot of wrestling, stuff like that, movie reviews, a lot of stuff we now cover on the podcast. So we had been guests on podcasts with the band, as interviewees, and it was going really well. We've been on some really cool podcasts, including this one. And shameless. Oh, terrible. Wait till I start name dropping. Which you have to do sometimes. But basically, we went out to dinner one time, Kate and I literally brought this to the table. I said, "What do you think of the idea of me doing a podcast, not being a public speaker or anything like that? Just the drum guy." And she fully supported me, and she said, "Go for it." And she ended up being my very first guest on my very first episode, my guinea pig, if you will.
Welcome.
Yeah, and it was great. I wasn't great, very green, and I'm still learning. It's still a process. The drums will always be like my home base and my office and all that. Being behind the drums is almost like you were asking about nerves and stuff like that. Like being behind the drums is just work, especially when you're putting everything together, getting everything on the stage and all that. But I feel like I can do anything behind the drum kit. There's no nerves. There's just excitement, and it's just work, and it's a lot of fun. The podcast is new, a couple years in, and exciting, and it has become this, I don't know, idea/project that has become something that people are following in other countries, and I have my guys on that I'm so proud of. Obviously Kate as well with the movie reviews and stuff like that. We do such a good job. We have celebrities on. I interviewed a Ghostbuster, and to me, you could tell I was amped for that one. If you look at that episode,
that smile.
You're talking about name dropping, so
yeah. But the thing is,
Ernie Hudson, to be clear.
Hudson, there it is. Yes. I'm trying so hard not to be that guy. I will be.
We're waiting for it.
Yeah.
We asked for it.
But Winston from the Ghostbusters. I mean, come on. We used to slide down our street pole and pretend it was like the firehouse when we were kids. We had the proton pack, and my dad made me the trap. So I lost my mind.
I love those toys.
Yeah, they're the best, right? At 35 years old, though, interviewing Ernie Hudson was like a dream come true. And my guys are so good, and we do such a good job with everything. And I hate to toot my own horn, but beep beep. Like,
I want a divorce.
Yeah, there it is.
Horns go beep now, apparently.
Yeah, there it is. But it's been great. It's actually turned into something, and that has spiraled into a journalism job where I'm interviewing more people and getting press access to a lot of these conventions and things like that. And it's so cool, and I love doing it, and it's all completely freelance, and it's just like my new love, not to take anything away from drums or anything like that. It's just different and new and exciting, and maybe one day it will be a career, but it's awesome. Very proud of it, and the Bob Culture Podcast.
love it.
So do you have any things coming? I don't know how far ahead you plan, or if you're on the impulse completely like, hey,
Yeah.
do you have anything specific that you're
planner.
looking at right now for the next couple episodes? What can people look forward to on the Bob Culture?
Great question, and I am the planner, so I think where we butt heads a lot, it has to do with her impulses. Let's go here, be here at this, and I'm like, well, where am I going? What time?
Here
Like
now.
today, for example, where am I supposed to be at 1 o'clock?
I like to think we balance each other.
As she's sitting here waiting patiently, talking to us, cursing.
I was moving drum set, so I apologize.
No.
But anyway,
you were on time for
the
listeners.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Always on time on the podcast. That's right. But essentially, we just did our 100th episode celebration. We did a big charity fundraiser for Connor's Cure. Those familiar with WWE, it raises money for pediatric cancer. It has a lot of the WWE superstars involved, where they go to the Children's Hospital. It's my favorite thing about the business. So we raised some money for that. We gave away a lot of prizes. We had 3 bands come on: Vextion, my friend Eddie Souls, Charles Leader and the Mischief, which is like a funk band. They're awesome with the horn section. Kate went up and played Say You'll Be There from the Spice Girls with him. You guys got to check out the video for that one. That's really cool. But we raised some money. We had a big live stream. It was super cool. So a lot of work went into planning that and getting the bands and getting the acts, getting the food. My buddy Trevor from, I got to thank everybody, but real quick, Trevor from Podcast Dummies. He has a Twitch network. He set everything up. He brought in all the computers and the screens, and then we had a nice live stream, and it was awesome. So coming out of that, kind of taking a little break, I've had a busy summer doing these conventions, doing this 100th episode, stuff with the drumline I teach, a lot of the journalism and deadlines and all the stuff that goes on with that. So we have our big vacation coming up next Friday.
Yes.
And it's 10 days, as we said, and I owe her this vacation. I've been doing a lot of stuff, super exciting, but
Without me, to be clear.
yeah, well, and to be clear, it was also wrestling and football Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Everyone's like,
really
don't you wish your wife liked wrestling and football? I'm like, no, it's perfect. We like all the same stuff except wrestling and football. It's perfect. Don't you wish Kate liked this guy and this team? No, it's great. But yeah, I'm excited for vacation. So coming out of vacation, to answer your original question, we have our fantasy football predictions panel coming up with my buddy Trevor from Podcast Dummies again, and our cousin, or my cousin-in-law, your cousin, hashtag Champ Missioner, also the champion of his football league.
Champ Missioner, I like that.
Yeah, Champ Missioner, the commissioner and the champ, which I should have brought the title belt. We take it way too seriously. Kate is just
She's rolling her
This is
head
getting
right
better.
now.
I like this.
You see why she's like, this is why I don't bring you to the Football Hall of Fame and all that stuff. But yes, we have a great vacation coming up. We got our fantasy football picks coming up later this week. And then I'm trying to get a couple of these wrestling talents on. We're big on the wrestling guys. We've had Summer Rae, James Ellsworth, Jim Ross, legendary commentator, which has been really cool. My goal right now is to penetrate what I call the WWE force field Whereas to get a current WWE contracted superstar interviewed on my podcast or on the poprate.com, which we write for, I've been able to cover events with WWE superstars. I've had them legit retweet my stuff, which is awesome. Down and interview them. And also, real quick, I got to plug, I have a huge focus on the local band scene. I think that's very important. And a lot of the local indie wrestlers, the guys who are trying to be on TV,
Yes.
the stars of tomorrow. And I think they have a lot of potential. And I think these are the guys you're going to be seeing on TV in a couple of years. So I feel like I've helped some people. I'd like to think that I helped some people in their passion and creative endeavors, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, anybody, I call it the minor leagues, if you would have wrestled.
Yeah.
So if you are in the minors, even if you're in the big time, one injury and you're all the way back down again. So, you'd want to be out there as much as possible, and it's great that you're able to get out there with all of them.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's super exciting. And, I'll talk to these indie guys. I'll see at these indie shows, and they have, like, great gimmicks. There's characters and gimmicks.
Yeah, they are.
They're going
to be changed eventually, but for now, yeah.
I'm such a big kid when it comes to it. There's this guy, Mike Orlando, the Green Machine. I think he from Freehold area originally, and he, blew out his knee or ACL or something like that. Just came back, and I had a great interview with him, and then a couple months later, he injured his other leg.
Oh, no.
Same injury, other leg, and, but he's keeping it very positive. He's going to come back better than ever, and I think he's one of those guys that's totally going to make it, along with his girlfriend, Allie Rex. She's phenomenal, too. So I'm excited for them, but you hate to see it, and
of course.
These guys, they say it's fake. You hear, it's fake. But
Yeah, right.
I
know full well that's you're getting hit.
Yeah, as much as you guys know about the workouts and the time they put in it, I was talking to her. I saw Goldberg doing the weights on his head, and I'm like, that seems terrible. Like, I feel like you could really hurt yourself. Like, that makes no sense to me. That seems like a good way to break your neck or something like that.
Well,
He's doing it to prevent breaking his neck.
Is that what it is?
Well, it's a football and wrestling movement in order to build up the muscles of your neck to make you less likely to fracture the neck, especially if you get dropped on your head.
Yeah,
which has happened before.
Which often happens in the wrestling.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
It was fun when we were doing triage for some of the local guys, and it was like, okay, so do you have any injuries? Oh, my back hurts. Oh, what happened? Oh, I was just thrown through 3 tables. It's not that bad. I mean,
yes, I was totally asking, have you had any traumatic injuries?
And
After
they're like, no,
the second
no.
guy, I'm like, you know what? Every day is trauma for you.
Yeah.
Just stop asking.
Yeah, it's like, what injuries do you have? And they start listing like all these surgeries. Oh yeah, I broke my neck 6 times here. It's like, okay, what didn't you break? Oh, this pinky. Perfect. Okay, now we know what to go for.
Yeah. So you guys are kind of used to that, like
yeah.
stuff a little bit. Yeah,
absolutely. And it's a lot of physicians will say, stay off of it for a while. Let's take some time off. No, you're not going to.
No.
So the goal is
Yeah.
patch you up, get you back on the way. Because you're going to do it. It's your passion. It's what you live to do. Literally wake up in the morning. If you didn't have that, you'd probably not be looking too good. You'd probably forget to shave and bathe and eat and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
get them moving along with their passion, make them happy.
You can't stop them. It's like her with music.
Right.
They want to get back in the ring. They want to go through the tables, whatever it is, and we all look at it as, it's fake. They're not really getting hurt, which they are, but they're doing, 450, splashes off a ladder or whatever it is, constant impact to, their back and things like this. You see the injuries. Unfortunately, you see guys get hooked on painkillers and stuff like that.
Too. They do hurt.
And yeah, exactly. And it's interesting. There's also a lot of storytelling involved and a lot of, as we said, like working out and getting in shape, which Kate can obviously appreciate that part. You have Charlotte Flairs of the world and things like that.
If wrestling was like 3 hours shorter, and if it was just the physical stuff, I'd be super into it. It's just, that's a lot of time to commit to something.
It is.
With soap opera storylines.
It is.
It's
my
soap
stories.
opera.
It's a soap opera.
I'm watching my stories.
Yeah, I know. Which isn't my job. But, I've gone here and there. I'll go to like WrestleMania parties or whatever, because I'm like, there's food, I'll go, whatever.
And it is like 5 hours though.
It's so long, oh my gosh. But they're so athletic, and the stuff they do is really, really amazing. So like, even though I'm not really interested in what's going on, like I'll sit there. I was like researching Charlotte Flair's like workout plan and her meal plan and stuff. I'm like, she's enormous. How does she do this?
You guys talking about workouts though? You guys see The Rock? And you ever see him
gosh,
his
cheat days? It's like 17 pizzas.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that was the appetizer.
Yeah, and then he had like an entire 4 cakes. And then he had like, I don't know, a plate of cookies. I'm like, how do you even eat that much?
It's easy, food to mouth, done.
Yeah,
That's it.
That's all it is,
Checks out.
repetitively.
Super cheat days.
You talked about the storylines. I remember WrestleMania 1. There was no storyline. It is just match after match after match, celebrity wave your hand, match after match after match.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they've gotten away from it a little bit, but when they had the Monday Night Wars, I
Sure.
remember the WCW, it would be an hour and 45 minutes of storyline and like a match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's a great point. Speaking of WCW, trying to get DDP on right now.
Ah.
Jersey guy, working on that.
Okay, back when I used to watch wrestling back in the day, that was actually my guy. And
like,
we didn't actually
no
talk
way.
about this much, but no,
Well,
seriously.
We'll talk.
DDP.
All right, we'll talk.
DDP
I got
was
some
actually a big
emails
guy.
for you guys. Okay, I
Yeah.
got you.
Because, so I watched WCW. I wasn't big into all the other ones. It was just like what my family was watching. 'Cause it was always pizza night, and we would watch it. I don't know. He was the guy for me.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know what it clicked.
I remember the match him and Goldberg. I'm like, could he be the one to knock off Goldberg?
Yeah,
there
you
There's
go.
too much Jersey in me wanting that,
Yeah.
but you know.
But he's helped a lot of people with his DDP yoga.
Yes.
You know, guys who've had like bad addiction problems and things like that, and he has a place for them to stay and all that stuff. So he's helped a lot of people. That'd be a great interview for you guys, especially too.
Yeah,
That'd
love
be-
to have him.
Yeah.
Love to have him around.
All right. I'd pay to listen to that one. I like that. I like it.
Any other diva encounters?
Yeah, so we had Summer Rae, which was actually a year ago today. Today's the 25th, right? Isn't that crazy? Boardwalk Beatdown in Atlantic City. Again, we talked about Goldberg. He was the main event there. It was a big convention. A friend of mine put on, who's been so good to me in the show. Really was my first exposure to interviewing wrestlers or celebrities. She was on Total Divas as well on the E! Network. And so Goldberg was there. And Sting was the headliner as well, so that was one of Kate's dad's favorite. So Kate's dad and I, we are like best buddies.
Best
we met Ric
friends.
Flair last week.
Rob is his favorite kid, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Want me a title bell?
Nice.
I was like, thank you. But as far as the divas, we've had Velvet Sky, who was on TNA Impact, which is another one of the WWE rivals. I think it's called Impact now. And she just made her return to ROH, which is an indie promotion as well right now. And then
Did you have
out
from AEW? Did you have someone?
someone, I'm trying to think. Man, look at you asking those questions.
Just because I don't like
Just
it
because
doesn't mean I don't pay
she didn't
attention.
like it, but she knows what she's talking about.
And Allie Rex, who I was talking about earlier, she's independent scene. She's going to be big time. Her moveset's kind of modeled after Rey Mysterio, who's known to be one of the greatest high flyers and the springboards.
Absolutely
Oh, yeah.
amazing
And
to watch. Yeah.
Trish Stratus, she does like the Matrix move where she goes all the way back and the chick kick, as they call it.
Trish Stratus, never heard of her, Chantea, right? I've never heard of her.
Oh, you like
She-
that
here
Trish
we go.
Stratus? Yeah. She just retired officially.
She we were down in Tampa one night. Chantea surprised me with Raw tickets. This is back when
Nice.
Goldberg was there. He actually got suspended that night after he went in and just cleared house.
Uh-huh.
Crowd's going nuts, and then he leaves. So then there was a match with Trish and Lita,
Yeah. Oh.
and she took a
even
bunch
better.
of pictures and almost like memorialized it for me. Like, here's your girls, Jim.
Yeah.
This
Two
is
all-time
awkward now
greats.
how to go with this one, but yeah.
That'd be another great interview. They do a lot of cons too, so we'll see. But yeah, that's my thing. I would love to get a currently under contract WWE superstar, and that includes like the Legends contracts. Kurt Angle's going to be at a convention, a horror convention. I guess he was in the Sharknado movies or something like that.
Was he?
Shark
That's where
Nose,
his career's
jeez.
gone?
Yeah, no. Well, he's officially retired from the ring, but they have these Hall of Fame contracts, so they're still associated with the company. It's very hard to get in.
So what do you think about Kurt's final match? I mean, he could have went out against...
I was there.
Oh.
I went to WrestleMania. Baron Corbin, he's been a controversial figure, not controversial, but as in terms of our stories, figure on the Bob Culture podcast. Our buddy, the anti-smark, Matt Wittes, we call him. He loves Baron Corbin, so he was cool with it. I don't know. I would have loved to see him face like a Cena. Cena kind of came up beating Kurt Angle like in one of his first matches. That would have been really good storytelling. I would love to see Ray, one of my all-time favorites, take on Kurt Angle. They had some great matches. But it's in the business, you have to pass the torch. You want to give it to a younger guy. And
Of course, I mean,
you
remember
yeah.
Hogan got it from Andre the Giant, who's
You know the
been
deal.
passed along.
Exactly.
Baron Corbin, is he the Kurt Angle of the future?
I-
Or, Kurt Angle could have went up against the Legend Killer and beat him. Or,
You know the deal.
some-
Okay. I know. Kate's just like tuning out. I'll
writing
say
songs in my head.
really great question. I don't want to knock anybody or anyone's career or anything like that. As of now, I don't see it. Corbin being that guy, especially because, what was it, Extreme Rules? He had a match for the big title, the Universal title, and then he hasn't really been on TV for weeks, so that doesn't really say much.
Mm-hmm.
And he comes on TV, you know, he used to have that motorcycle guy gimmick. Now he has the shaved head and what we like to call the TJI Fridays greeter apparel. He's just kind of like, you know, not really wearing wrestling gear. So I don't see it. I think, you know, Kurt did the right thing, obviously, passing the torch, giving it to a younger guy. I don't think he's terrible. I just don't see him being the next Kurt Angle in any way. But I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot to become an Olympic medalist.
Yeah, there you go.
So.
That's right. A legit
Just saying.
Small achievement.
with a broken neck. Yeah.
Yeah, that one too.
Jeez.
Yeah.
As we're saying.
So before we wrap up, any parting musical thoughts?
Yeah, follow me on social media at I am Kate Ortiz to find out about my solo album coming up in the fall. It doesn't have a name yet, but it will.
You looking for name suggestions, or you want everyone to keep their mouth shut
I
and
mean,
come up with it while you sleep?
throw it at me.
Yeah, find her on Instagram, throw names at her.
Yeah, that would be awesome, yes.
So then repeat that again, where they can find you on Facebook, Instagram, or where would you prefer them find you or direct message you?
Instagram is the best place to direct message me. I don't really check my Facebook as much. I don't know.
So
I'll tell you
I am
what.
Kate Ortiz.
At I am Kate Ortiz. I also have a YouTube channel that is linked through my Instagram that makes it easy to find. You just click on the link in my profile. And I have right now just a single cover of Stay by Lisa Loeb, which was liked by Lisa Loeb.
Legit.
Hey.
The Lisa
So
Loeb.
she liked it.
She did like it on Instagram, so that was pretty cool. But I'm going to be putting up some covers of my own songs. I'm going to do covers and some of my own songs acoustic, and then eventually I'll throw my songs up there too when they're released, so you can check them out.
I'll tell you what, if somebody contacts you and gives you a album that you like and
winner?
approve, and a winner, and it is, you get a free month in the Fit Lab with me.
There you go.
Wow!
Hey!
I'll tell you that
It's on.
I'm gonna give
order.
myself a suggestion and be like,
I like this one.
that's the one.
So I said it, there it is, come up with something
That's
good
on.
that works. So you're going to have to obviously listen to a lot of your music to be able to figure it out. So definitely listen to Vextion, not Vextion.
No, Vextion.
Vextion.
Yeah. So yeah, Vextion. We actually have an album out too. You could find us on Instagram at VextionNJ, I believe. And that is available on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon.
So definitely download and stream
Yes,
as much as possible.
download and stream. Listen to it all the time. I really count on that 0.1000 cent that I get per stream.
Is it 0.1 now?
It's.
I thought
yeah.
it was like 0.00. I was literally looking this up the other night.
It's basically nothing.
Right.
If I got like 100,000 streams, I think I'd get like $10. So.
Hey, lunch.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
One lunch.
So if you want to buy it on iTunes, that's way better for me. It's only $5. You got this.
And Rob on Bob Culture, where can we hear all about you?
Oh, shameless promo. Well, thank you again, guys, for having this. This is really cool. Thank you for, again, channeling my wife's rage and competitive nature. We'll keep it at that. You can follow me and listen to this great podcast. You know, obviously got to, review you guys. It's important. We need our iTunes reviews, all that good stuff.
It does help. It really does help.
It
Those
makes
reviews.
all the difference in the world. Follow me on iTunes, the Bob Culture Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, all that good stuff. We're on YouTube as well. Podbean, yeah. BobCulture.com.
You use Podbean too?
I do. Is that you guys?
That's what you use
Yeah.
Podbean
I
as
like
well.
it.
I like it.
Yeah,
It's
you
very
guys-
easy to use.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really, really good. Follow me on Twitter. I do a lot of podcast stuff on Twitter, part of a lot of podcast groups. I'll invite you guys along, and we'll get everything retweeted. It's really fun. But it's at Bob Culture Pod on Twitter. And yeah, make sure you follow the band and follow Kate and all her good stuff. And also, I got to plug thepopbreak.com, which I write for. A bunch of great guys and women and great writers, and we just cover anything from D23 is that what just happened right now? Comic-Con, the movie releases, movie reviews, the wrestler interviews, hopefully some WWE superstar reviews or interviews.
And someone wrote about my favorite show, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not a She-Ra fan for that today. I don't know.
The gasp from the mad scientist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
We'll have to do a whole other podcast about that.
I find ways to embarrass myself easily.
Don't be ashamed, it's amazing.
I'll keep my Goldberg tattoo hidden for the rest of the podcast.
Wait, what?
I have a Star Wars tattoo if it makes you feel better.
It's helping.
Yeah.
All right, for another podcast at Functionised, this is your mad scientist. I am out.
Dr. Mike, as always, I'm out.
I am Kate Ortiz. Goodbye.
We're out. Rob Crowther for the Bob Culture Podcast. Thank you, guys. Peace.
Hopefully you enjoyed this podcast. I certainly did. Check out I Am Kate Ortiz and the music by Vextion. You see them coming live, go see them. It's a phenomenal show. Enjoy. Instead of our regular outro music, I'm going to leave you with What I Am by Vextion.